Have a day in central London? Check out this one-day walking tour that will get you all of the highlights. Welcome to day 2 of our DIY walking tour of London. Day 1 was focused on the Westminster area, and this day will have a central London theme. Tower Bridge, Tower of London, St. Paul's Cathedral, and more. If you missed our day 1 tour, we'll have a link in the description below. This single day walking loop works great if you're staying right in central London, or take the underground there. Total time of this walking loop is about 75 minutes and is 3.1 miles or 5 kilometers. If you want to save yourself some time and steps, you can do what we did and take a black cab from Tower of London to St. Paul's Cathedral. Doing this will reduce your overall walk to just 50 minutes and 2 miles or 3.2 kilometers. Our recommendation is to begin your journey with Tower Bridge since it is near Tower of London and is open 24/7. And if you're going to Tower of London, you'll want to see the crown jewels, and that gets very crowded very fast, so you'll want to get there early. If you get to Tower Bridge early, about 8 a.m., you'll have plenty of time to walk around there and make it to Tower of London for the 9 a.m. opening. Tower Bridge is most certainly another iconic London landmark. Construction began in 1886 and was completed in 1894. You could definitely just take photos, but I highly recommend walking the other side and taking it all in. There are plenty of photo opportunities throughout. You can also take an engine room tour, as well as walking across the top, which features glass floors. These glass floors are 110 feet or 33 meters above the road surface. Certainly not for the faint of heart. We opted to simply walk across, take in the gorgeous views of the bridge, HMS Belfast, Tower of London, and the rest of central London. If you have some time, you can also choose an optional walk around St. Katherine Docks, which is on the northern and eastern side of the bridge. Crossing back over the bridge and walking along the Thames between the bridge and Tower of London is a beautiful pathway, and there is also a group of food trucks between the Thames and the Tower entrance if you'd like a bite to eat. Tower of London. Buy your tickets in advance and get into the queue early. We had a 9 a.m. entry and were in line 15 minutes before. There were a few hundred people in front of us already. There is a ceremonial opening at 9 a.m. with the duty yeoman warder and a military escort. Tip: there is a fantastic photo op after you come through the main entrance and up the steps before entering the courtyard near the White Tower. And for another fantastic photo op, be sure to have your picture taken with a yeoman warder, beefeaters. And you can certainly take your photo with the tower guard as well. Just don't get too close. Of course, the biggest attraction here is certainly the crown jewels. If you want to see the crown jewels, and who doesn't, go there immediately upon entry. We arrived about 10 minutes after entry and walked right up to the door. When we left the crown jewels about 30 minutes later, you can see that the queue had completely filled up. Plan to spend at least 30 minutes viewing the jewels and all the amazing crowns, scepters, orbs, regalia, and more. The famous Koh-i-Noor diamond is set in Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother's crown. Unfortunately, this is a location you cannot take any photos. However, it wouldn't matter, as the photos would never capture the amazing beauty and radiance of these masterpieces. In the medieval palace, see how a portcullis operates, as well as what the original construction looked like, and many of the ornate rooms. Check out what a king's bed and bedroom were like in the 13th century, as well as his prayer alcove. The prayer alcove is definitely much more ornate than the Spartan bedroom. The Bloody Tower is a fascinating stop where Sir Walter Raleigh lived as a prisoner for 13 years, not to mention the supposed murders as well as torture that occurred here. Also be sure to visit with the Ravens and many of the other buildings and areas that might interest you. You should be able to see the highlights here in 2 hours if you arrive early, but you could certainly spend an entire day as well. From Tower of London, we took a black cab to St. Paul's Cathedral. You can certainly walk. It's about 25 minutes and 1.1 miles or 1.8 kilometers. Tip: where to find a black cab near Tower of London. You'll exit Tower of London across the middle drawbridge. Turn to your right to go past the Trader's Gate and follow along as if you're going back to the entrance. Once you pass the Tower of London gift shop on your left, turn to your left and proceed across the street to the Starbucks at the corner of Lower Thames Street. Here you should find a long line of available black cabs. St. Paul's Cathedral is another location where you should get timed tickets. If you have your tickets in hand, you can move right past the long lines that will be out front. St. Paul's Cathedral is an English Baroque style designed by Sir Christopher Wren and completed in 1710. This was the tallest building in London at 365 feet or 111 meters up until 1963. St. Paul's Cathedral was the site of Winston Churchill's funeral, as well as the wedding of King Charles III to Lady Diana Spencer. Why were Charles and Diana wed here and not Westminster Abbey? Simple. St. Paul's can accommodate more guests than Westminster Abbey. The Cathedral Dome is one of the most famous features of the cathedral. It is one of the largest domes in the world at 366 feet tall, and you can climb the 528 steps to the top of the dome. On the cathedral floor, see the choir, the high altar, and the apse. The crypt is the final resting place of Admiral Lord Nelson, as well as many more. Tip: there are only stairs down to the crypt, but if you want to see it, or use the restrooms there, and are not able to use the stairs, ask at the elevator to the dome, and they will accommodate you, allowing you to use the elevator to go down to the crypt. We sat and rested here in the nave after touring the cathedral. It was wonderful just enjoying the quiet, admiring all of the beautiful works of art, and imagine yourself at the historical events that took place here, such as Charles and Diana's wedding. After departing, we recommend walking across the Millennium Bridge to tour Shakespeare's Globe. The Millennium Bridge offers wonderful vantage points for photos of St. Paul's Cathedral. Since we were in London for the Major League Baseball game, we had to skip the Globe Theatre and go directly to our next stop, Sky Garden. You should easily be able to do the Globe Theatre and then follow up with Sky Garden. Sky Garden gives a wonderful vantage point of London. It is our recommendation for an aerial view rather than the London Eye, which is expensive and in our opinion more touristy. You will need to book your tickets in advance to Sky Garden, but the tickets are free. They do go fast and are released 3 weeks in advance. Note that Sky Garden can be closed for private events. In fact, during our 3-day visit to London, Sky Garden was indeed closed for private events. Fortunately, we were on the list and were able to not only enjoy the beauty of Sky Garden, but also enjoy as a wonderful pre-game event. In a city of gardens, Sky Garden is London's highest public garden. There are 3 levels on the 35th, 36th, and 37th floor, where you can enjoy a 360-degree view of the city's iconic skyline. There is also an external observation deck affording unobstructed views of Tower of London, Tower Bridge, City Hall, HMS Belfast, and the Shard. Another potential alternative for an aerial view in central London is the Shard. The 72nd floor observation deck here is 800 feet or 243 meters high. However, the tickets to this are also expensive and on par with the London Eye, but the London Eye is only 443 feet or 135 meters high. For comparison, Sky Garden is 508 feet or 155 meters high. The Shard does have several bars on the 31st floor that will allow a view for the price of a drink. Or you can also visit Gong on the 52nd floor, which is the highest hotel bar in Europe. After enjoying your time in Sky Garden, be sure to stop at St. Dunstan in the east for a brief respite. This is only a 3-minute walk from Sky Garden. The ruins of this church are stunning and well hidden, so you won't be bothered by large crowds here. It is one of the most beautiful places in London. And of course, as I mentioned, we were in London for the Major League Baseball game between the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets. If you ever have the opportunity to root for your team or would like to see an MLB game in London, it is well worth it. The experience for us was just unbelievable. The game was held at London Stadium, which was originally built for the 2012 Olympics and is currently the home venue for West Ham United. And to top it off, our home team Phillies beat the Mets, so a great ending to yet another wonderful day in London. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please consider subscribing. It means a lot to us and helps our channel grow. See you soon!